We came home after rehearsal one time. We'd been through everything from record labels being rejected to people saying we were crap. Like people saying, what are you doing this for? Go get a proper job. Do you know what I mean? You know, everyone's had them people in life, haven't you? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Go get a proper job. What are you doing? You got no chance. See you later. See you later. And we persevered. And I remember coming home for one rehearsal and Danny, the lead singer, saying, listen, Nova, let's just give it up. What is the point? And our manager, I was on the phone with Danny and he got an email right there at that time. And the manager said, hold it, boys. One of your songs, one of your demos is on CSI New York.
Nice.
It's going to be on the end scene of a wedding. Then we got signed to it. Yeah, that's how it started with the music. When I was age 24, a worldwide deal. Signed to Atlantic Records, and we just toured and worked his backsides off. We were like a boomerang. Back from England, no, America. Where am I going again? We're going to go again? Shall we go again? And put the work in. And that was it. Got to number 3 in the charts.
What's the name of the band?
I'm going to say it in American.
Okay.
Because if I say it in British, you'd be like, what? Scars. Scars on 45. I can never say numbers in American. I can never do that.
99.
Yeah, there you go. Scars on 45. Yeah, scars on 45.
Okay, gotcha.
Like scars. Like scars.
Can we cut to a clip?
You can do it if you want. The biggest question I always get asked now is, how have you ended up being a host on Fox 21 in Colorado Springs? And it simply was, I saw...
Welcome to the Colorado Springs Business Podcast, where we discuss business principles and provide real-life insight into the lives of everyday business owners and entrepreneurs. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe or leave a review wherever you might be listening. Now, let's talk business.
We interrupt this program to bring you our sponsors, the people who help make this show possible. Dope Tees. Dope Tees is one of our fresh new sponsors that we have for you today. Dope Tees is here to help level up your style game. They're all about killer designs and top-notch quality. Seriously, go check them out. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing Dope Tees right now. This is a tee that I'm wearing that is a Dope Tee. Episode of the founder and owner of Dope Tees is coming up soon. Be on the lookout. Or it's already here, so go find it. Thank you, Dope Tees, for supporting us and helping us do what we do here at the COS Business Podcast. Curious? Head over to Dope Tees' website right now. That's www.dopeteez.biz, B-I-Z. That's www.dopeteez. Yes, check it out.
We're thrilled to introduce our newest sponsor, Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care. Are you tired of the hassle that comes with traditional healthcare? Pinnacle is here to change the game. For just $68 a month, you get direct access to your primary care physician without the need for insurance, copays, or deductibles. Yeah, you heard that right. It's healthcare simplified. The benefits of using Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care is strong doctor-patient relationships. Enjoy extended 30 to 60-minute office visits and get the individualized care you deserve. Convenient access to care. Whether you're at home or travel the world, you can reach out to your local doctor via chat, email, or video visits. Cost-effective treatment. Pinnacle believes in radical transparency, offering you cost-effective care without any hidden fees. So, if you're ready to take control of your health and be an active participant in your healthcare journey, Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care is the way to go. Visit their website at pinnacleapc.com. That's pinnacleapc.com.
Franchise Succeed. Franchise Succeed brings a wealth of knowledge to the table. Boasting a team of over 6 decades of combined experience in franchising and financial planning. They specialize in helping business owners elevate their companies through franchising. What sets them apart? Expertise in multiple industries. Whether you're in retail, finance, or energy exploration, they've got you covered. Tailored strategies. They work closely with their clients to understand the unique needs and goals, developing customized investment plans. Ethical approach. Integrity and ethics are at the core of their operations, ensuring they work with only the best and most qualified partners. They can help you. From customer service policies to million-dollar marketing programs, they've got the expertise. If you're thinking about franchising your business or need strategic guidance, look no further. That's franchisesucceed.com. franchisesucceed.com. Our next sponsor is a company I like to call, and they like to call themselves too, Planet Duct. If you're in Colorado Springs and surrounding areas and you haven't heard of Planet Duct, you're missing out. They're not just any air duct cleaning company service. They're NADCA, NADCA certified specialist. Here's what sets them apart. Powerful equipment. Their team is highly trained to give your air ducts a cleaning that is literally out of this world. Comprehensive cleaning. From blowing the dust from your duct vents to cleaning the truck lines, they've got it all covered. They even clean the return drop, blower wheel, and filter compartment. Safety checks. After all that cleaning, they do a free carbon monoxide check to ensure your system is safe. Time efficient. Depending on your home size and project scope, they typically take about 3 to 5 hours to get the job done, and they get it done right. So if you're looking to breathe a little easier, give Planet Duct a call. Trust us, your lungs will thank you. Visit their website for more information at planetduct.com. Our next sponsor is Recon Marketing. And you know what? I'm going to tell you why Recon Marketing rocks. Their expertise. They know the ins and out of marketing like the back of their hand. They have many of years of experience in doing this, and you can trust them. Free consultations. Not sure if they're a right fit? They offer a free consultation to help you decide. And if that wasn't enough, the co-host of this episode today right now is Marcus Alvarado, who is the founder of Recon Marketing. Custom solutions. Every business is unique, and Recon Marketing tailors their services to meet your specific needs. Results driven. They focus on delivering real measurable results. So connect with them today. Get your free consultation today at reconmarketingservices.com. That's reconmarketingservices.com. So now we're going to dive into this amazing episode.
Welcome back to the COS Business Podcast. We have a very exciting episode today. It's going to be a great one. Today we have Nova from Loving Living Local. Nova, thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Thank you, man. You were privileged. I got a message on Instagram. You two cool cats were like, I want you on our show. I'm like, yeah, come on, let's do it. No, but listen, like, I just want to throw something back. I was having a little bit of a nosy of what you guys have been up to, and it's awesome. It really is cool.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I thought I had a bit of competition in Colorado Springs.
Yeah,
Look at you two.
Yeah, because your show is very similar to
Yeah.
our show in a lot of ways. You interview business owners, right?
Yeah, and I noticed a lot of businesses we've had on the show that have kind of been tagging you guys, and I thought, who are these cool cats? So I'm going to come down and figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, I love it, man. And like one of the coolest things about, we were actually just talking to somebody yesterday from California. They're in Orange County area. And they were saying, hey, I live in Orange County. Like when we watch our local news there, and I'm a big Fox guy, this guy says, I'm a big Fox guy. Like it's like a movie.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like it's so theatrical with everything they do. And like, there's no like real authenticity to what they do is essentially what he was saying about the news stations over there.
In LA.
And he's like, when I came here, first channel, obviously I like my Fox. I turned into Fox and like I saw Pledge of Allegiance and like, you know, live and local on the scene for like local events, and then Loving Living Local. He was talking about that. He's like, that's so different. There's a big reason why I fall in love with this community. This is the guy. I fell in love with this community right away, but just because of how authentic and how real it all seems. And I feel like that's a true testament of what you guys do over at the show. And it's so cool. We've had a lot of friends come from both. Like we're part of the circuit now, we feel like for you. Like they hit Loving Living Local in the morning, then they'll hit the podcast like later on in the week to promote their events. And we're very big again into promoting a lot of community leaders, people who are doing big things in the community. So had to throw the kudos back to you just because of everything that you've done. It's just been incredible.
Well, we haven't finished yet. I'm still going. Still going. And even when I started, it was, I mean, we'll touch on that. It's been a huge, huge journey for me.
Yeah.
Me personally as well. And the TV industry is a whirlwind world. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I was in the music industry before, but now in the TV industry. But it's a privilege, man. It's a privilege for people to put on the TV and it's like, oh, some guy with a funny voice is wishing me good morning, and it's like, yeah, love it. And not everyone likes the show, and not everyone likes me, and that's fine.
You're reaching a lot of people, though. I mean, that's going to come with the territory.
Well, yeah, you reach a lot of people, and that's the biggest thing for me. I love people. I love talking. I love people's stories as well. Everyone's different. You're different. You're both different. Edgar's different. You know what I mean? And everyone's got a story. They've got this journey they've taken. And then you've got people who started businesses, non-profits, et cetera, and it's down to us to promote that and share that love. And that's what I enjoy waking up to each morning. Going in that studio and digging them stories out of people. Do you know what I mean? It's a wonderful thing.
Why has that curiosity always been a big piece of, it sounds like, of who you are? It's like it's like embedded in the fabric of who you are. Is that something like early years?
Probably family, Marcus, I think. Do you know what I mean? I think from a very young age, the upbringing I had, and me and my brother as well, it used to be one of the things where you went to like family weddings or funerals or whatever, group parties and etc. And I always remember my parents saying to me and my brother, don't get lost, respect people, look up to your elders, and conversate and communicate. Does that make sense? And we've always been thrown in the deep end like that. And I've always found people fascinating. And being brought up as a Polish, Italian, Ukrainian heritage with my grandparents, and being British and now married American as well. It's like culture and diversity is one of the biggest things in my life. It really is. And where I grew up in Bradford, Yorkshire, I mean, we had over like 100 cultures in one city. Do you know what I mean? So you got to think about that. 100 cultures in one city. So you got to think about the Saturday mornings going with your grandparents to the local market buying the bread, hanging out at the Polish shop, and you've got Slovakians, Yugoslavians, Polish, Ukrainians, Italians. They're all congregating, these elderly gentlemen and women as well. And you're there as the grandkid. And they're talking in Polish, and then introducing you, and you're learning language. And do you know what I mean? It's such a... I'll never forget that. And then these giants of, you know, Eastern European men, and you've got the little Italian women and stuff like that. It'll never leave my mind. And I think that's one memory that'll always stick with me. And again, so we always got thrown in congregating with people from a young age.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I think there's a level of understanding that we might have being Americans, but I think in Europe there's a little bit more of a melting pot, at least with language and those types of cultures. Explain a little bit more about that. And like growing up, I mean, you explained a little bit about it already, but unpack it a little bit more for us. For those who are not used to being born in, you know, from European roots, it's a whole different story. I just visited Italy for the first time in my life, like 5 months ago.
Where did you go?
We went through Tuscany, went to Rome, went to Florence. My sister got married in like the Tuscany area. Just stunning, like so beautiful.
Well, you just nailed it there. It's a stunning. I mean, Italy. So I've got family in Italy, Poland, Ukraine, England, Australia. I mean, Canada. Do you know what I mean? It's all dotted around and stuff. But Europe as a whole, everyone, it's easy to get around Europe. Does that make sense? England's a very small place. And then I always find this baffling how many Americans don't have passports.
I don't have one.
well, that's the thing. I'm not. It's not a dig. It's like.
No, I want one.
But your country's so vast, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's a wonderful place.
I don't need a passport because I got a lot of places to go.
Well, there you go.
That I haven't gone yet.
That's what I mean. And it's like, right, okay, your country's huge, and I get that. But I always found that baffling. But when you're in England and stuff, you need a passport. You need to get to Europe's a little stone throw, isn't it? But yeah, Europe's an incredible place, and it's one of the things I like. I do miss England. I miss home, but Europe as general. Oh, I do miss that.
Okay.
Because I used to, when I was on tour with a band, I used to come back to England. I used to get like itchy feet. It's like I need to go again. I need to go again. And if we weren't touring, I'd hop off to Holland, or I'd go to Germany, or I'd go see family in Italy or Poland. I had that travel bug, and I still do, to be honest. But going back to your question about Italy as well, having that, I mean, I'm so kind of fortunate to have that experience from a cultural, like in the country. Do you know what I mean? With family, got cousins there. I've been going there since I was 15. Same with my Polish family as well. It's embedded in you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And having that different experience. Because you can say, oh yeah, I've been on holiday in Italy. But it's totally different when you got your family over there.
Yeah.
And you're sitting around the table of 20 people. And they're conversating in Italian. And it's all conversation. Again, going back to your original question. Communication, being around people. It's huge. It's huge. Yeah. And it'll never leave me that.
It's interesting. I've got like roots in Poland and all this stuff, but all I know is America because my parents or my grandparents, I guess you could say great grandparents, whichever ones they were, immigrated here in like the late 1800s. So like, and I know that there was a big immigration push like around that time, and like we've just been here for over 100 years, and I don't even think about my roots in Europe at all.
I really urge anyone, if it's you guys in this room, anyone watching, if you've got heritage, you've got that background, and you've got family, go discover it. Go do it. And I remember when I first ever met my granddad, my Jajo's family in Poland, and he passed, I think it was 2 years. Did he pass away? Yeah, he did. And I went with my dad. And I walked in this room, probably about the same size as this. They only got a small apartment. There must have been about 25 people in this room. Table filled with meat, cheeses, you name it. Vodka flowing like a tap, right? But conversation and everything. There was one mobile phone in the room. Everything was talking. And I was struggling. I mean, obviously with the language and everything, language barrier, I was kind of get there. I used to be pretty good at Polish when I was young. But my dad was there. He's fluent, yeah? And I remember they walked in, these little ladies walked in, and they all looked like my granddad. Because they were his sisters, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh my gosh, it's incredible. Why didn't I do it sooner? Why didn't I do it sooner? And it sticks with you. It really does stick with you. And with the Italian family now, I mean, I'm taking my family next year for for the first time to meet them. That's like a pass down, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? These are your relations. Keep the baton going. Keep it going. And yeah, I'm fortunate, man. It's cool. I love it.
I moved around a lot in just the United States growing up. My mom was an executive in the newspaper industry, but we lived in California, lived here, we lived New York, upstate New York. She lived in Kentucky for a stint. There's a stint all across the country. And like I always say, like while it's not like going across Europe or anything like that, the cultures inside the United States was so vast and so different. Like the Italians in New York, or like the southern parts of Kentucky or California, which is a whole nother beast of cultures. It helped me become more worldly and like be able to communicate with people no matter the situation, no matter where I'm at. And I think it's helped me being able to, like, when I do shows like this, or like sales for my business or whatever it might be, like I'm able to like understand people at a very different level because I've just been around so many perspectives. And I feel like for you, it's been very similar. Like people relate to you, people who are big fans of you, they really latch onto you because you have that relatability to you.
That's a huge thing to say. Thank you. You know what I mean? And a lot of people say that when they come on the show and everything like that. And going back to this show, the biggest thing for me is when someone comes out of that studio and go, thank you for making that experience special, and I'll remember that. And making me feel comfortable. Because it is an experience, isn't it? You go in a studio with lights on, it's like, whoa, for the first time. It's like, what is going on? And reassuring that person is a huge thing. It's a huge thing. Even before you even started the interview, just reassuring them. But going back to America, this country's been a third of my life. Third of my life. Showing my age now. But obviously, like, I visited every single state bar 2, Hawaii and Alaska. I'm going to do it, I promise. And I always see America as each state is like a different country.
It is in a lot of ways.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you've got food, cultures, religions, everything, people, rules. Do you know what I mean? The laws and everything like that. Then you're all together, and it's all one incredible country. But you're right, travel. They always said travel broadens the mind, doesn't it? But for me, travel is it's a lesson. It's a lesson. You're learning so much stuff. And you know, if you could meet every single person in the world, wow, you discovered something, haven't you? But you're never going to do that. But you can get where you want to get, and learn that lesson. So
true, so true. My one of my best friends, he was a foreign exchange student in high school, and he's from Germany. And we've done a lot of traveling when he was here in the U.S., but I really did understand what you're talking about, because we went to the South when we were doing like a little high school road trip, and he couldn't understand anything of what they were saying. Because again, English is a secondary language. He's very good at English, but like just the way, the fluctuations of like a Southern accent, he had no idea. He had like asked me, I'm like, I barely know. But like, it's so interesting. It's almost like the dialects again, right?
Yeah.
It's like its own country. Like the dialects, like in China, they have, I don't know how many dialects of Mandarin and Cantonese. And it's a lot of people who are not from the United States, they can't pick up on that stuff.
In England, there's a lot of different deep accents too, as well.
well, and I get that all the time. I don't think, you don't really get many people who go, oh, you're from Bradford, Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Unless they're either from Yorkshire or they've got a friend from Yorkshire. But I mean, I get totally different country, let alone England. I mean, I've had Swedish before. Swedish, really? Right? I mean, I don't have beautiful blonde locks. Do I? Do you know what I mean? But the thing, going back to England, what you mentioned as well, England, because it's a small country, but you could travel kind of 20 minutes, 25 minutes down the road, and the dialect changes. So I'm from Yorkshire, one of the biggest counties in England. In a place called Bradford, working class, industrial, do you know what I mean? Textile mills back in the day. And then you can travel, say, 40 minutes down the M62, across the Pennines to Manchester, and the dialect changes. From Manchester to Liverpool, which is probably, less than 30 minutes, the dialect changes even more. And if you go south, I mean, it changes, but in America, it's more like state by state, isn't it? I'm testing myself at the minute with Mrs. Nova. Because she goes, God, you really, because I can hear it, say if I'm out and about, and if it's a British person, it could be any country. She goes, how do you know them like accents? I don't know. Maybe because I've been to so many places, that's what it is. So what I'm testing myself at the minute is kind of guess where Americans are from, state-wise. So I'm trying to work that out.
Good.
Yeah, because it's like just using your ear and listening.
So where am I from? I'm not from Colorado.
Okay, all right. Well, give me another 10 minutes. I'll figure it out.
All right.
Is that all right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could read a script. Maybe I could continue to talk. What does your gut feeling say?
North from here.
East.
Northeast or east?
Straight east.
Straight east. Well,
literally down the line.
Down the line. Okay, so we're gonna go like Kansas St. Louis.
That's Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City. Yeah, go. You're a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, I noticed you were too.
Come on,
we did some research on it. We found
don't
out
bring
real
this
quick.
weekend up. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's cool, man.
Yeah. So what makes you a Chiefs fan?
I got married into the Chiefs.
You got what?
Married into the Chiefs.
Oh, okay. So you're right.
I didn't marry Andy Reid or anything, right? No.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, a wonderful wife, all her family.
Oh, really?
From Kansas City. Big shout out. How are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Kansas City and Springfield.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so even further down there.
Mm-hmm.
I got married into the Chiefs family, all Chiefs
Nice
followers. And it was like, here you go, this is the team you're going to support. But I was a late starter to the NFL and American football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I obviously a big supporter of football.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
here we
know
go.
You know what I mean? But
You mean Socrates?
well, you use your foot, don't you? That's the thing. But yeah, football. I mean, the British football, the worldwide football, the kind of we call it the European football. It's kind of embedded in you when you're born in England.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know what I mean? You get the football underneath the arm.
Yeah.
You get the Beatles songbook. A
Okay.
pint of real ale.
Okay.
And a couple of swear words that you need to use, and there you go. See you later. You're in life now, and going into the world, and that was it. That was it for me. So NFL, going back to NFL, I was a late starter. I never really watched it, and I didn't really get it. I'm still trying to figure it out. I've got a good teacher because my wife's really good at teaching me. But you need to just watch it and watch it and watch it.
Yes.
You won't find me playing though.
No, it's a different type
No,
of
I'm not.
Yeah.
sport.
I played rugby, and that was just. I mean, that was another.
That's even
level.
more brutal.
Well, I played at school, but I broke my fingers. I was a second row, and I remember playing at school, and I broke my fingers. And being a piano player, I was like, "What am I doing? What am I doing?" So get out of that. I'm not doing that anymore.
For sure.
So it's like being a goalkeeper. I'm not good at that. Yeah. So yeah, American football. Yeah, great sport. Loved, and I'm such a fan now. Probably been a Chiefs fan now. I've only been married 3 years. So yeah, probably last 3. Yeah, probably late start 3 or 4 years.
Nice.
It's incredible team.
It is, yeah. Especially the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. But I think about watching them as well, and watching American football in general. What I love about American sports in general, I'm going to put it out there. I love that entertainment side.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like having that entertainment and just it's an event, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an event, and I think like back in England, I think our football we could take a little bit from that. Do you know what I mean? And I love the communication with the referees. I mean, apart from commercials every 3 minutes, that's
It's not like an event.
well, no, it is. But like I'm on about like with cheerleaders and stuff, and like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that hype and stuff.
Entertainment.
Dopamine
my-
hit like
yeah.
crazy. Yeah. Everywhere you look.
Yeah, but I mean, the 3.5 hour game of American football could be squashed down a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's little spurts.
Well, it's 60
like
minutes, really, isn't it? 60 minutes. All right, you can have a half time. I'll give you a half time, so 15 minutes. All right, call it 90 minutes. You could put it into 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I love it.
Gotta run those ads. That's what
I
it's about.
know. Run those ads.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you keep saying a lot about music, and I feel like that might have been one of your first loves, most definitely, and it's a big part of your life. So talk a little bit more about that as well.
Still is, Marcus. Still is. And it'll never leave me. Okay? I won't be sat here if it weren't for music. How far do we go back here? How far? I was born, my mum wanted, I'm one of two, eldest child. My mum said she wanted one of her sons to play piano. And I came out of the womb first. I mean, and it was like, right, I'm going to do piano lessons. Age 4. Did piano lessons, went through lessons and lessons and lessons. Absolutely hated them.
Mm-hmm.
Old school piano lessons. You know, the teacher coming in sitting next to you. You're playing the wrong note. Practice. I did all that.
No YouTube?
Sorry?
No YouTube?
Oh, no. No. I'm 38, man. I didn't have YouTube then. I think we had a VHS player
Okay.
back in the day. So I did piano lessons. I did all lessons, did all the grades. You know what I mean? Monotonous grades and Polish Catholic.
Oof.
Yeah. So church, pretty much every Sunday. If you can't go Sunday, you go in Saturday. Do you know what I mean? So altar boy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, with a robe holding a candle.
Yeah, that's you.
You know what I mean? The is it thurible? I think it is, the incense and everything. And then did church organ. So the organist at the time, my mum went, hey, you know, David can play organ. So next thing you know, I'm playing the opening hymn.
No
Dressed
way.
as an altar boy, by the way.
Wow.
So I'm like a 2 for 1.
Yeah.
So I used to like play the opening hymn, run on the altar, do everything, you know what I mean, do everything. And then it eventually became the end hymn as well. So I used to like, like an octopus, you know what I mean? It was like, so I did that. Then the organist died. Unfortunately, like obviously sadly passed away.
Yeah.
So I ended up being the full-time organist. And I was 14, 15. And then,
Wow.
so I was doing that, and I wasn't on the altar anymore. It was a nice excuse to, I'll just stick with the music.
For sure, yeah.
And then I started doing funerals and weddings. And then doing funerals during school time. Because, I mean, someone had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing 5-6 funerals a week. It's not good for a 14-year-old, really, is it? Do you know what I mean? But the money was good.
Okay, you were getting paid.
Oh, but I was getting paid.
Yeah.
I used to recognise the funeral directors because it was a different funeral. Some had 4 a day. I never forget, because you face the organ like facing like that, and there would always be a tap on the shoulder after the funeral, and it was the funeral director, and it'll go, there you go, and that's your check.
Really?
Yeah. See you tomorrow 2:00 for your next. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was that old school, proper old school by the book. It wasn't like the texture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I didn't join bands or became cool until probably 16, 17 in school. The only thing I used to do was play piano for school assemblies coming in, kids coming in, and 300 kids. And I used to play well-known songs and stuff, and you know what I mean. And I think that's the thing that got me through school, being cool, like being able to play the piano.
Mm-hmm.
I did that, and I started doing cover bands with friends from school. Always the piano player, never the lead singer, always a piano player. Did that, and then ended up joining this band. Probably, I must have been 18. Didn't do very well back end of school. Went to music college. Joined the band. Who was the band that got signed? And probably took us about 8 years, and we got a record deal when I was age 24, a worldwide deal. Wow. Signed to Atlantic Records. And that was that. That was it. It was like, wow. And throughout them 8 years prior, I remember just I always wanted to kind of persevere and do it. We all did in the band. We all wanted to persevere and keep on going. And the funny story is this. We came home after rehearsal one time, and we were we'd been through everything from record labels being rejected to people saying we were crap. Do you know what I mean? Just people saying, what are you doing this for? Go get a proper job.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone's had them people in life, haven't you? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Go get a proper job. What are you doing? You got no chance.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, you know what? See you later. And we persevered. And I remember coming home for one rehearsal, and Danny, the lead singer, saying, listen, Nobber, let's just give it up. Just nobody. What's point? What is the point? And our manager, I remember it was I was on the phone with Danny, and he got an email right there at that time, and the manager said, hold it, boys. One of your demos is on CSI New York.
Nice.
It's going to be on the end scene of a wedding. And we were like, what? He goes, yeah, it's going to be on. And from there, it ended up going in obviously people hearing it and listening, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got signed to Atlantic, and a subsidiary label of Atlantic Records called Chop Shop. And we did that, and that was it. That was the journey. That's how it started with the music. Toured the world. America was the biggest market for us. And it's, American fans are incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just did that. Every little corner of this country, radio stations, Jay Leno, VH1 Unplugged, YouTube Presents. All sorts. And we just toured and worked his backsides off. We were like a boomerang. Back from England. No, America. When we're going to go? When we're going again? Going to go again? Shall we go again? And put the work in. And that was it. Got to number 3 in the charts, AAA charts. And it was like, it's a whirlwind.
And you guys were about to quit right before that happened.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And we got one of my best friends, Amy. We kind of. I was dead against this, and if they're watching this, they'll agree with me. I was dead against getting my friend in, but also getting a friend in who was a girl in the band, because I'm like, we don't need a girl in the band. And she's got an outstanding voice. Her vocals are incredible, and she never sung before. She was a soccer player. She played football for Bradford City, and she's still good now, really good. And we got her in the band, and that changed. That pretty much was the icing on the cake. It was. So we had this male-female contrast vocals.
Awesome.
And what year was this?
This was probably, I'd say 20. I was 22, 23. Yeah, 22, 23. Okay. Signed when I was 24. And I think it's the best thing we've ever done. And their vocals together, even now. I mean, being in the band, but even like I'm a fan of their vocals together. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
It should make sense. I think that you should be a fan of your own music.
Yeah.
Though I think there are some musicians that probably hate their own stuff. Yeah. But I think you should love. I mean, I know when I was doing music, I would produce stuff, I would love it, and then like a couple months later, I'd hate it. Like I had a love-hate relationship with my own music.
It's hard. It's hard. I think one of the hardest things you ever do as a musician is to release that music into the wild. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like into the world. Mm-hmm. Because you've got no control over it then, have you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like people are going to love it, they're going to hate it. Oh, I don't know.
I think you have
put
to
on a playlist.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And it's like, and again, that's going back to like living local. Not everyone likes the show. Mm-hmm. Same with music. Not everyone likes. Yeah. Your genre is different to your genre, etc. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But them two together, I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. It really is incredible.
And obviously, what's the name of the band?
Scar. I'm going to say it in American.
Okay.
Because if I say it in British, you'd be like, what? Scars? Scars on 45. I can never say numbers in American. I can never do that.
99.
Yeah, there you go. Scars on 45. Yeah, scars on 45.
Okay, gotcha.
Like scars. Like scars.
Can we cut to a clip?
You can do whatever you want.
Right. Hi everyone.
Hiya.
Danny and Amy and Nova's back.
Together we're golden. Everything will be alright. There's no way I will ever change for you.
Clip, yeah.
I'll find a clip.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Cool. I miss them immensely. I do miss the road. Mm-hmm. I do miss the road. And I do miss the stage. Mm-hmm. Do I miss the music industry and all the other bits and bats that go along with it? Probably not. Mm-hmm. Probably not. But I miss the hang. I miss being in a van with 6 of your best mates. Because we had some good times. Fact. When it first started, we were like kids in a candy shop. Because when you're in the biggest countries in the world, you're doing something you love. And thirdly, you were your best mates. So you're a family. Mm-hmm. 24 hours a day, you're a family. More than you see your own missus or your partner. Do you know what I mean? It's incredible, and you learn so much. And America for me, and touring was my university. That's what it was. So, yeah, cool, really cool.
So what ended that chapter for you guys? Sounds like you're touring, you're going all across the country. You guys are enjoying the high lives of going back and forth between Europe and America.
Me personally, or the band?
How about you?
Me personally was, obviously I moved over here. I mean, I was back and forth for 12 years as it is with the touring. Met my wife. Denver was a big market for us. Do you know what I mean? It's KBCO. Big shout out. Brad White, thank you. KBCO radio market was awesome for us. It was a big market, and we used to stay at a friend's house, etc., who worked in the radio industry. That's how I met Christy, because we were staying at that house, etc. And obviously I was doing long distance relationship, by the way, not ships. Okay, relationship with Christy, and it was kind of, how do you balance the two, which worked totally fine, and then pandemic hit. So I had to make like probably one of the biggest decisions of my life. It was like, do I go home or do I stay here? That was literally it. When Mr. Trump kind of shut the borders down, etc., goes, right, travel's going to stop and everything. What do I do? What do I do? And I made a decision to stay. Simply, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
That changed a lot of things. Relationships, massively.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into too much detail about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I stayed back here for 2 years, 2.5 years. Everything shut down. Things changed. Touring stopped. Do you know what I mean? We depended a hell of a lot on touring.
Mm-hmm.
We that type. We did touring, merchandise, and music on TV and film. That was our biggest kind of avenues. So I stayed back. The rest of the band were back in England, and even prior to that, a lot of the band dispersed as well, if that makes sense. We had like five real members in the band. Like they kept dropping off, and do you know what I mean? 5 became 4, 3, 2, etc. Well, now it is 2. And then obviously I made that decision, and it's like, what do I do? It was like a bit of a turning point in my life, if I'm honest. And I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. And while I was doing the band, I was also doing the Nova Meets. And I started that while I was in the band. So when I was coming home from touring, etc. Man on the street stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll touch more on that. And then during the pandemic, I just started giving myself a bit of a kick up the backside and started writing music, if that makes sense. I mean, we did a lot of work together in the band, but not really. I didn't really write. Having that chance to write and having my name on something. So I thought this is going to be a great chance to do this. So I just started like writing instrumental music, piano music, going back to classical world. Do you know what I mean? Classical piano music. And I just kind of tested myself and learned the craft, learned the recording craft. Going into Pro Tools, learning how to work with another artist who's on the other side of the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like collaborating and stuff. And I think I did all right. And did like weird versions of covers. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 became 2 and so on. And then you're building your repertoire and building stuff up, release some stuff. And I got some music on TV, got music on a Japanese commercial.
Nice.
And it was like, right, cool. And I felt really proud. I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it for the music, I think. And I'm in a different world now.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like, well, yeah, fine. Do you know what I mean? You do what you want to do, but it is. I don't know if I'm not saying that ship has sailed within the music, because it hasn't. But I've got a chance to do something else that I really love. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, it sounds like it started a whole other chapter. You said Man on the Street, Nova Meets.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that. That's a big part of who you are now today.
Well, yeah, and it's again that came out of Bradford City is my football team, the beloved Bradford City, the Bantams, and we're in League 2. Okay,
What does that mean, League 2?
League 2. So you got Premiership,
Uh-huh.
Championship, League 1, League 2.
Gotcha.
We're in the same league as Wrexham. You've heard of Wrexham, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wrexham. You haven't heard of Wrexham?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Ryan
not a
Reynolds.
big
Have
sports
you heard
person.
of Ryan Reynolds?
I've never heard. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, he owns that.
Oh, he
club.
does. Okay.
Yeah, he owns
okay.
that club.
Nice. He owns
Yeah.
a lot of things. He's a really good businessman.
Yeah,
We
he's
need
got
to get him
good
on the
gin
pod.
as well. Have you
Yeah.
tried his gin? Oh,
I have not tried it,
Yeah,
no.
Aviation's really good.
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, Nova Meets. So obviously, I was coming back and forth from touring, etc., and I was going to every single game when I could get home and stuff. And then I got asked by the CEO at the time, called James Mason,
Wow.
and he said, "Nova, do you fancy hosting up in the Legends Room at the club after a game?" And the Legends Room's like probably a room that holds 250 people. All the sponsors go in there after the game, and you got the man of the match goes up there, gets the bottle of champagne. Well done, you played really well. And so I had to interview them, talk to the crowd and stuff. You know what I mean? Or you get a player who's not played and you interview them as well. Would you mind hosting that, being the MC? I went, I've never done it before. He went, no, you'd be good at it. It's fine. So I did it. 1 became 2, etc. And then I'll never forget it. It must have been like a Christmas. It must have been a Christmas that season. I came home. He goes, "Do you fancy going outside and chatting with the fans?" I went, "What are you on about?" He goes, "No, we're just going to throw you out not literally throw me out, but like go outside with a camera person and just interview people, but make it your own. So I don't know. I did a little bit of research and I thought, well, okay, perfect. I'll just go out and go interview people. So before a game, I went out and just chatted with fans. And the whole concept, and it still is now when I go do Nova Meets now, is I've got no script. It's all about who I meet. And going back to the original, every single person is different. They've all got a story. So I might have one or two questions. Do you know what I mean? Oh, what are you up to now, etc. What do you think the score of the game is, etc. But it's all about conversation, who you bump into. But the thing about Nova Meets is about the editing. The editing has to be quick fire, sharp. And I never try to stay on a clip more than probably 5-7 seconds. So you keep that viewer interacted. So that's how that started. So that became, I did Nova Meets for Bradford City. Did like restaurant stuff, you know, like reviewing stuff and all that back in my hometown. And then because of that stopped because of the pandemic. I was back out here. Then after the pandemic, when I was still doing all the music in the basement and stuff, doing my own stuff, as soon as things opened up, I thought, I'm going to try doing Nova Meets out here. I've never done it in America. So the first one I did was like up in Castle Rock. I did some restaurants. I did Burger Week. But it didn't have that kind of same, you know, like vibe, man on the street. So 3 years ago last Halloween, I just went on in the streets of Denver. And it was like day before Halloween, just asking people, what are you dressing up as? What are you dressing up as? And I did the same edit, did that. And then that was like, right, okay, Nova Meets is here. And then that kind of drew me into where I am now, getting a job at Fox, which it still blows my mind how I kind of got that.
Can you go into that journey?
Yeah, I can do, yeah.
Sweet, yeah. Well, how
That
did you
blows me away.
The biggest question I always get asked now is, how have you ended up being a host on a Fox 21 in Colorado Springs? And it simply was, I saw, do you know, like on social media where you get them pop-up things like, you know, if you're searching for something, and I must have been like looking for man on the street stuff or something, hosting posts. I can't remember what I was doing. And something popped up on Facebook, Fox 21, host required, TV host for lifestyle show. And I was like, that's weird. Obviously someone's listened to me on my phone, aren't they? You know what I mean? So I applied for it. And I thought, I've got no chance. You know, you think,
For sure, yeah.
I've got more, you know what I mean? More chance winning the lottery. You know what I mean? It was just such a big ask. And I remember speaking to Mrs. Nova at the time, and she was like, "You've done what?" I went, "Yeah, well," I said, "Look, what?" She goes, "You know what? You'd be good at lifestyle. You'd be good at lifestyle." But what? I'm going to share something now. But before that, there was a news reporter job that popped up on another one, and I applied for that as well. And she straight away went, "You've got no chance doing that. No way. You've got no experience in news." And I don't think I'd be very good at the news, proper news.
Anchor kind of stuff.
But the good news and stuff and like the lifestyle entertainment, I thought, you know what? So anyway, emailed off, and must have been it definitely wasn't a week. It must have been 2 or 3 days, if that. Got an email straight back, who now is my boss, Mr. Joe Cole. Wonderful guy.
Put up his Instagram handle.
Yeah. Still my boss now, and a great mentor. And just, I remember he said, come on down. And it was like, come on down day after. So this had not been a week yet. Came on down, showed me around the studio, and I'll never forget this, walking in his office, his old office, because he's moved offices now. And there was a huge picture of the Beatles on his wall. And we spent more time looking at that picture and talking about the Beatles than we did about the job.
Interesting.
And it was like, oh my gosh, we gelled. And he showed me around the building and stuff, and met some of the team. And he said, listen, obviously we need to interview you properly, etc. I thought that was an interview. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Met people. He said, I'll let you know. Anyway, so a week definitely passed there. And I was like, what has just happened? I mean, it's like, because like Fox, you're going Fox 21, and well, I need TV studios. It's like cameras, everything. And I got a phone call week after, Nova, come back down. I want to put you in front of camera with my old co-host. And I was like, okay, we're going to do a 30-minute show. Not live, but we're going to pretend it's live. And there was teleprompter and everything. and I had an earpiece in, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, Nova, what are you doing? What are you like? What are you? You know what I mean? Like, and I just thought there's only one way to do this: just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Just strap yourself in and go for it. And I did it. Went back to his office, same office with the Beatles picture. He went, right, I'm going to be honest with you. I've got 2 or 3 people lined up for this, but I like you. I like you. Do you know what I mean? I like you. And I think I want a guy on this show. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, like, what was going through my head? He goes, I'm going to have to let you know though, because I'm going to have to interview the other people. A couple of people flying in. I was like, okay, cool. And it must have been 2 weeks. It must have been 2 weeks. Then I get a phone call again, and he offered me a deal. He goes, I want to give you the job. I want to give you the job. I said, right, I will graciously take this. And I remember, you know when you do that thing you've seen it on films where they go, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like that. I was like, Christy. Like, and I remember, and I put the phone and said, Joe, can I please ask for one thing? Because I'm coming up to I'm coming up to my 3rd year now.
Yeah.
And I said, please let me go home before I start this job. I ain't been home because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see my family. I need to get that, you know what I mean? I need to get that family touch. I need to just be around friends and family. Please. He goes, you take as much time as you want. And I'll never forget that.
Wow.
Never forget what he said. And that for me was like, I went home, reset, came back, and it was like, right, let's get the party started. This was it. I'm going to be like on live TV now, and yeah. So I've got so much respect for him for saying that to me, because he could have easily said, no, you started Monday morning. What are you on about?
Was that the original plan?
No, I think it was like a couple of weeks, but we kind of he let me breathe and reset, and he knew how much obviously family was important, and obviously I'm even now with time off I have from work and stuff, it's like gold for me. Does that make sense? It has to be around family. Obviously, if it's Kansas, for example, we need to go
Missouri.
back there. Yeah, but Kansas City. I've been told you have to call Kansas City. Yeah, Kansas City. If it's England, if it's my family coming over here, stuff. It's like I've got to really utilize vacation time as much as possible. But he got it straight away, and he still does. So hat off to him. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They must have saw something in you, both those people in your life, that they wanted you to be in front of a camera, something innately about you and your personality and how you react with other people and how you're able to connect with them. Well,
do you know what? Yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, you're right. And I think it's one of the things, like he said, I can't, if I word this right, I remember him saying in the interview, he goes, I like you. I can't teach who you are with people, the way you conversate, communicate, but I can teach you the TV world industry, teleprompting, earpiece, tempo, how you deliver things, interview techniques, etc. But the way who you are with people, I can't teach that. And that's a huge thing. That was like,
Man.
And I'm still learning now. There's some stuff I've done on this morning show. I'm gonna finesse and fine tune for tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's show, I'm not in studio, I'm in the field. So I'm going to be finessing again. And one thing he always said, he goes, Nova, you're watching yourself. I went, I'm not watching myself. What do you think? Who do you think I am? Yeah. I'm not watching myself. He goes, no, you need to watch yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the difference with the band. We were a group, you know what I mean? We had management, you had labels, you had people that kind of chime in and everything. But like now, even though we have a wonderful team now and team around us, you're still kind of you're still your own boss. Does that make sense? Especially with Nova Meets.
Yeah.
Especially with Nova Meets. I'm still kind of, even though I finesse that so much with people around me as well, and as an individual, I'm still trying to make things get better. And you're only as good as your last gig. And you guys probably the same.
Yeah.
You might watch this back and go, oh, I wish I would have delivered that question differently. I wish I would have edited that differently. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's how you get better. That's how you progress.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's huge. It's huge. But I thrive off constructive criticism. I love it. Some people don't.
It's good.
You know what I mean? Some people are like, "Oh, did you see that? What I just did?" It's like, but you can't do it. I always want to try to get better and better and better.
Same. Yeah.
So,
with this podcast, I like to say we're improving it every episode by 1% at least. You know, like we're adding little things here. We're consistently evolving and growing it and improving in the way that we do things every single episode, I think. And that adds up over time. So after 50 episodes, it's going to be 50% better, I feel, you know?
I can tell even like, even how we doing your homework on you guys as well. Like looking back in your social media posts as well, you can tell the growth. You can tell your confidence in both of you as well. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to just keep going for it and look back. It's all right to look back at what you've done, how you can change things as well. But I want to ask you, like, where do you think you'll take this then, boys? Where do you want to kind of thrive with this? Where do you want to go?
We just talked about that yesterday with someone where you want to kind of kick it off.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a vision that this podcast could be potentially a top 10 in the business category.
Wow.
On like at least in the United States. So that's the goal, is top 10 business in the, not the number one, but maybe number one, but at least in the top 10 of the business category because it is the Colorado Springs business podcast, but we kind of, I mean, it's also the COS business podcast, which is informally used a lot of times as COS. So COS is like COS Business Podcast. So on the national scale, we have the COS Business Podcast, but then on a local scale, we have the Colorado Springs COS Business Podcast.
Yeah.
So kind of, I want to take it as to a national scale. Like we could have people come on the show that aren't necessarily from Colorado Springs, but have information or have experience that they could share that would help anyone that's not just in Colorado Springs, but maybe they're coming here to Colorado Springs to film it. So that's kind of the aim, I think.
Yeah, I love that. It was funny though, because like when you reached out, I was like, why do you want to talk to me for? I don't have a business. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it was such an awesome thing what you said about the collaboration I have with businesses. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it meant so much, man. You know what I mean? So,
well, and your own, like Nova itself is like its own business. Really,
I know. I
right?
forget that. I forget it is. Yeah, it is a bit. It's a brand.
Yeah.
It's more like business is a brand. I get that, but like for me, it's a brand. And going back to living local as well. That's a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's like there's only a small percentage of me being on camera, behind the scenes, and working with the local community, and working like maybe like hosting an event, or when you and also booking for the next day, or you're doing articles and kind of collaborating within the local community and people. It's a brand. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
It's huge. It really is. So yeah, it's cool.
I had a tiny house festival that I still organize every year. It's a very large festival, and it started here in Colorado Springs. Now it's in Loveland. But however, the first 2 years I did it by myself. It was 2018 and 2019, so before you were at Fox 21 News. But I can say without a shadow of a doubt, like if it wasn't for Fox 21 News, my event would not be even close to as successful as it was. Amazing. Because of the morning segments live on site. It was like the whole morning session for me. Like we had to be there at 4:30 a.m. at the venue, and it went all the way to like 9 or 10 in the morning. So like 4 or 5 hours. And it meant so much to me that the community got around what I was doing. Because when you put yourself out there as a business owner, especially when I was younger, in my 20s doing it, you never really know what you're doing. You get better at it, right? But like there's so much vulnerability in that. And so it helps so much. Like being on the other side of the microphone, the probably, part of the business ownerships that you interview all the time, like it means so much to me. And I know it means so much to some of our guests about being on your show. We're close with Flip and Maritza and a lot of other people you've had on the show. And
you just had someone on who is our sponsor, actually. Like they just posted like a day ago, actually, I think. Travis, how do you say his last name?
Oh yeah, Broken Stat.
Travis
B.
Pinnacle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With Brandy Nunez.
He was on the show this morning.
This morning?
Yeah,
okay.
Nice. He's got glasses on, hasn't he? Travis?
Yeah. He's the
we had him
sponsor
on
of the show.
He just came on. Yeah.
He speaks very well. He's. I mean, everyone speaks awesome on the show, but he's amazing. And like I said, it's one of the things like it's such a privilege to share people's businesses, stories.
So
you know what I mean?
important.
And it's like to have that community and being part of that and sharing everything that people are doing. It's massive. And that's not just living local. The news guys on the morning, the evenings, the weekends.
Exactly.
We're a package. We're a team. Does that make sense? And I always urge people, if you've got a story, if you've got something you want us to hear, to share, someone's at the end of the email. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Someone's at the end of the phone. And if you've got a story, share it. Share it to the world. Share it to the world. And the biggest thing for me apart from obviously getting the guests in as well, we're really busy at the minute, which I love, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. Word spreading, words. You know what I mean, we're connecting the dots, which is amazing. But the biggest thing for me is bringing that music into the show on a weekly basis. It's huge, and I feel like I'm giving something back because it's hard for musicians now. I really think it is. Unless
it's easy and hard at the same time.
It's easy and hard. That's true. But if you want to be kind of the Ed Sheeran's, Coldplay, and Taylor Swift's and stuff, it's like, oh, need a record deal. But even just getting on TV and having that showcase, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. And I feel like we keep really offering that. We are every single Friday with our Friday Feels segments, and I want to try bring more into this community with something to do, obviously, with music. I think it's huge. It really is. So big shout out to all the musicians.
Oh yeah,
send me your demo tape. No, not tapes anymore, is it?
Yeah, VHS tape.
And when I say easy, I want to clarify on that too, because it's hard regardless, no matter what. But when I say easy, I mean it's easier to break into becoming an independent artist than it was 20 years ago. That's what I meant by easy.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. You're totally right. I think we missed the boat as well with Scars. We just missed out on because Napster opened up the world. And then Spotify. And it's like, oh God, if we were just a couple of years earlier and stuff, we could have, sold CDs and tapes and everything. But I think, listen, if you've got that passion, you got that dream, you got that perseverance, keep going. Don't let anyone knock you down.
Yeah. You're a good story behind that, because you guys were about to quit.
That's what I mean. Just do it. Just keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. And I want to do more things for musicians. I really do. And it's a great facility up in northern Colorado Springs, Production Point. Have you heard of Production Point?
Yeah, with Evan.
Yeah, Evan, incredible. We've been doing like a new series with Evan, which I can't wait to share. We've been doing it like on Fridays after we've done the live show, and it's really a more of a long concept of a series, a music series, 20-minute series with an artist, sitting down with the artist.
Awesome.
In the studio as well, and I can't wait to release that in the world. I'm
awesome.
So excited about that. Wow. So yeah, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
We know you had Terry Josiah on before too. If you remember who that is.
Yeah, he's a talented kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got good hair as well.
Oh yeah.
Best.
Yeah, he's good. And he's doing a lot in the local community as well.
Yeah, and they've got they do music. That's their main thing as well.
It's just great, and it's like opening them doors up. And it's not just. I use it as the arts because they're doing music as well. But you guys, look at you guys, podcasting. Yeah,
it's an art form for sure.
It's an art form. I love the October Arts Month in Colorado Springs. Like, if it's graffiti artists, or do you know what I mean?
Cool.
Come on, but then you got like the fashion people as well. It's all part of that same bubble, and I just love it. I love it.
Yeah, the culture here is really expanding and growing, I think. You've been here a lot longer than I have, and I feel like it's growing into like a big city. It already is it's the 37th or 38th biggest city in the United States. A lot of people don't know that, but Colorado Springs is actually one of the bigger cities. People feel like it's one of the smaller cities, but because it has that small feel, but it actually is a pretty big city, but it's evolving into something that's beautiful, I think. Yeah.
I think it's a special place, and if it's something that is going to be for the rest of my life and I'm going to be here, brilliant. If it's something not, whatever. But I tell you one thing, it's opened me up with open arms, every single person.
Well, feel the same.
Does that make sense? Like, I've been the welcome I've had here, and it's been tough. You know what I mean? It's like being on TV every single month. It's hard. It's hard.
For sure.
And it's one of them things, like, for people who have supported me, if it's the guests or viewers and everything, it's such a privilege. It's such a privilege, and that'll never leave me. It'll never leave me. And it's an awesome area. And this city in general, I think it's going in one way.
Yeah.
It's going in one way. And it's incredible to be part of it.
And you get recognized on the street, I assume.
Just my wife.
Just your wife?
Just
okay.
my wife.
Because I've been recognized 6 times just from this show, and it doesn't even reach the reach that you guys reach. So I assume
it's
that...
fun. Yeah, I do, and it's cool. And do you know what? I love that. I love and not being big headed.
Yeah.
I love seeing people come up to you and going, "I watch you every single morning. Thank you." And do you know what? I even love even more when they go, have you thought about having this person on the show?
Oh,
and
yeah,
when
yeah.
they give you recommendations and stuff like that, and you're discovering more stuff. But meeting people, I mean, if you want down to viewers and stuff, and people having that support, and even on social media getting the message or anything like that, that's the best thing. It's amazing. You know what I mean? Like having that connection with somebody, and it's scary. I used to feel that in music as well. Like when you're on stage, or even a recorded piece of music, when they're hearing stuff, no matter where in the world, you're creating someone's emotion by something you've done, but you might have never met them. Does that make sense? So they could be hearing your music in, I don't know, Timbuktu, I don't know, wherever, Australian stuff. It's like, whoa. And you send you a message going, oh my gosh, I got married to that song, or this and that. Or if you're live,
That's awesome. Yeah.
and you've got a crowd full of people, and you don't know the people, you don't know who's in the crowd, do you? But like whatever you're doing, music-wise, and you're causing that reaction of that person, it could be like, hey, or hugging, or holding their loved ones, and it's like you're doing that just by music. Does that make sense? It's an imaginary line, I always say it. So now with TV, it's really corny, but like I'm doing that through the camera. We're doing it as a team. Does that make sense? The stories we're delivering of, it's on social media, and having that reaction with someone who stops you going, oh, I watched you the other day. That was a really cool story. Or, do you know what I mean? Or I like what you did there. Or, oh, I follow you. It's like, I've never met you before. It's powerful. It's powerful, guys. It really is. And that's the same with your podcast.
Yeah. And it feels good too.
You must see, you must feel good thinking of it. It's a proud moment. And I love that. I mean, I get the odd shouting people from other side of the street and stuff.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm all right. Or switchbacks. I get followed around switchbacks and stuff. But it's all right. It's all good. I like it. As long as you're respectful and stuff, I think it's cool. It's cool. So
How are we doing switchbacks? Because I know European football.
yeah.
You're a big fan of that. So how are we doing?
Listen, I get my fix. I get my fix with switchbacks.
Nice.
Incredible team. Coach Hogan, I mean, I'll call him a friend if I'm honest, and that's another fix. We've got the wonderful Irish coach and assistants and stuff, and that's a nice little ticks my box of being homesick
Nice,
as well.
yeah.
It's wonderful. It's a great, but as well, switchbacks in general, I think the organisation is incredible as well. A really community feel. Incredible to have the USL Summer Showcase this year, put us on the map. ESPN national coverage as well. Great to be part of that as well, which was awesome. But just the team in general, and it's amazing to have that in Colorado Springs. And again, there's only one way it's going. It's building every single year. It's growing.
Oh yeah.
Staff are incredible. Great support with me for letting me do my, my pre-game stuff, my soccer pre-games. Again, I'm getting that fix. I need it. Do you know what I mean? I live and breathe football. I love that game. So it's great for the city, great for Southern Colorado, and yeah, there's only one way that team is going. So, and they keep thriving. But another thing away from the football, I mean, have you seen the music they're bringing in, the events they're bringing in as well?
Oh yeah.
That's another thing you bring it. Who have they got coming in? Is it Mr. Aldean?
Yeah.
It's
Jason
okay.
Aldean.
What?
A-list. Let's go.
Come on,
Yeah.
come on. It's huge. So yeah, big shout out Switchbacks.
I'm so glad they put their stadium downtown, or they built the stadium downtown too. Because back in the day,
I was up there, wasn't it?
yeah, they wanted my Tiny House Festival to be there, and like the location, which while it was awesome, it just didn't have the space for my type of festival.
Yeah.
And so like the prominence of what it's done for downtown and like unite downtown. Like I always told Andrew, is like 10 years ago, this city was a bunch of pocketed cities put together. It was Northgate. They never went downtown. You had the West Side, Rock Rimmon.
Yeah.
They had no reason to go downtown. You had the Powers Corridor. You had Fountain.
Yeah.
They had no reason to go anywhere else besides our little pocketed areas. But we're building a lot down here, like the stadium, like all the new bars and clubs, the new restaurants, the new breweries, all the things that we're doing downtown. It's something special. And so like the timing of you coming here, or at least staying here and doing what you're doing, it's like perfect timing.
Well, it's thriving. It's thriving. I mean, and I notice it more obviously within the show where new businesses are coming on. If it's food, drink, if it's this, if it's that, it's like it's like, I didn't know about that, and it's impressive. It's impressive. Does that make sense? And it's going in one direction. It really is. And going back to the Switchbacks as well, if you haven't been to Switchbacks, you need to go. It's a great family. It's a family event as well. But what I love about American sports stadiums in general as well, you can walk the perimeter. in the switchbacks, so you can grab a beer or whatever your drink of choice is, and walk around. Does that make sense? You can't do that in England.
Why not?
Soccer games, because you segregate
Okay.
home and away. Home and away.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, and that's always been the rulings, and that's what it is. So you got home and away, and that's what it is. But over here, it's much more. It's a very family orientated. It's like going back to the entertainment as well. But yes, it is awesome. But in Colorado Springs, what a place to have that team and that club. It's awesome, and I'm excited to see what happens with Colorado Springs. I really am. And another, do you know the power plant near Springs?
Drake.
So I always think that could be an amazing conversion. You know, into something like you could have restaurant, bars, you could have a venue in there. You could do, you could do all sorts. You could do all sorts. Do you need to switch that out? Yeah. You do your thing.
Well, the location is so prominent, like you're saying. Like, what's a better, more prominent spot?
What is a better, more prominent spot than that?
That's so true.
Apartments. You could put more living in there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You could do all sorts. You could do so much, but just don't knock it down. But I think they are going to knock it down, aren't they? That's the plan. That's the plan. So, so if you're watching, that's my idea. That's my idea. Yeah. So where do you want to take it from?
I got another question just to
come.
You know, we've been talking about your love and your fix for soccer, football. It sounds like when we're doing some of your research that you've also coached as well. You've coached soccer?
You've been doing your research, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're stalking me.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, it was, oh my gosh. Yeah, so when I'm trying to figure out when it was. Was it after pandemic? Yeah, it would have been after the pandemic. Yeah, I don't know. Because I used to teach. Back in England. I taught kindergarten.
Wow.
Grade 1 all the way up to grade. It's weird over here because we do years, you do grades. So I did it up to age 11. Does that make sense? I tried doing high school, but I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't like it. They're like mini adults, like bullying me. So I was like, no, get me out of there. So I did kindergarten. I did sub-teaching for ages and ages and ages. And I've always, I just loved, like, working with kids. I don't know if you guys have done it. Oh, you've got kids yourself. But it's such, it's like kids say anything. Do you know what I mean? But I always loved giving back what I learned in life. And the biggest things for me was also communication, honesty, and timekeeping. If you get them three things right, you're on the right path, okay? So obviously after the pandemic, I thought, right, you know what? I'm not going to go into teaching. I'm not gonna go back there. Big shout out to teachers. I mean, it's incredible. I didn't want to. I still wanted to kind of do something with creative media and stuff like that. So I kept that open. But with football, I thought, do you know, let's have a little dabble at coaching. Anyway, one of my neighbours 2 doors down, his kid was outside with a jersey on, you know, with full jersey. And he was like, hey, Nova. I'm like, hey, are you all right? Anyway, dad comes out and he goes, they've just lost the coach. Again, timing again. I'm like, oh, here we go. And obviously they knew, being British and my love for football and everything, goes, do you want to come to a practice? And I was like, yeah, but I'm not. Listen, I'll help you out just this practice, and that's anyway. So 1 practice per game, 2, 3, 4. Next thing you know, parents are all on touchline. Look at our new coach. Oh my God, he's British. And I'm like, and next thing I'm in touch with the head of the team, they call the Hawks. And next thing you know, I've signed up for like 2 seasons, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, all right, I'll do 1 season. Obviously, I did 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And you know, I loved it. It was great. And I still see the lads now. They were like there, but now they're up there. Hey, Nova. No, man, how you doing? Yeah, hey, coach. But you know what, biggest thing for that was because I think I got them at age 11, 12. And a lot of them, I had to really go to basics, man. Go to basics. And the biggest thing for me was the camaraderie. And the biggest thing was life lessons as well. I mean, some of these kids never looked you in the eye when they spoke. Do you know what I mean? It's like, talk, like, it's cool. And I had these, like, a group of 16, and they were having, like, 16 little brothers. Do you know what I mean? But it was all about respect and communication and timekeeping and like, where are your shin guards? Where are your cleats? Do you know, little things like that? Where's your ball? Do you know, like, just I've been turning up with a look in the part. Do you know what I mean? You got to turn up with your tools.
For sure.
And just little stuff like teaching that. So everything happened on the field, yeah, obviously I took it seriously. I mean, I did. But the main things was like looking the part, turning up as a team, respecting your elders, respecting the referees and stuff like that. And it was awesome. And I love that. And I'll never forget the biggest thing when I left. It was quite emotional actually, because I had such a rapport with parents and the families and everything like that. And I never forget it. And I got my green card within the back end of the season. And one of the mums, Megan, she was called, she worked at the Capitol in Denver. And she got a signed certificate from Governor Polis saying like welcome to Colorado. And I got a flag folded, Colorado, an American flag folded. It's on my wall. I'll send you a picture.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
And it's
cool.
framed in the office. In over with like welcome America. And I was like, oh my gosh, you got me going.
That-
Like,
that's
yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
Wow.
And I still see the kids now and stuff. But they owe me a lot of beers when they're 21.
Yeah.
You owe me a bit. Listen, I started doing that game. Yeah, you know what I mean. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and having them relationships, and they really brought me in. Does that make sense? Because it was tough at the time, going out of pandemic as well, and I still hadn't seen my family. Remember, so having that, it was like a family. It was awesome. It was brilliant. So, and do you know what? I haven't put the lid on that. I might go back to it at some point.
Oh,
I just
okay.
haven't got the time at the minute. I ain't got the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But I think I'd probably coach older.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like coaching that team at that time was it was so much fun. We still talk about it now, but it was a lot of kind of like learning the life lessons, etc. But I think I'd get a team who were probably 16, 17 who were like, soccer is a thing now. Come on, and do more like tactics,
The
and
skills, but
yeah, and go down that. Like high school would be awesome. So, oh yeah.
It's so important. Like I remember from playing sports in high school, how important it was to like building me as a man. Like you talk about discipline, respect, being
huge.
prepared, competing, showing
Huge.
sportsmanship. I mean, like it was like everything for me to do that. As far as like who I am today, like I'm so proud I did those and learned that with a team and learning how to be a
Huge.
team player. It's so formidable, right?
Well, it's huge. I think life lessons, just like you mentioned there, in general, is huge now, and I think they're starting to teach that in schools now, aren't they? Is it like, I don't know, is it not man? I can't remember what they call it. There's a school down in Pueblo, the Connect Charter School, really small school, 260 kids, and one of the academic subjects they're teaching, is it called not charm? It could be called charm, or something along them lines, where they're teaching kids how to talk to people, eye contact, shaking hands, etc. And I think, oh my, I wish I had that when I was.
That's huge.
Because I did. I just got kicked in the family party, and it's like, right, don't get lost, don't leave building, right? Make sure you wash your hands when you go to the toilet, and that's it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? But like now, if they're teaching that in schools, I think it's massive. And they also teach public speaking as well. Another life, I think that's a massive life skill.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
That was the hardest thing for me to learn, public speaking in college. Oh man, like that's a big fear for people. You know, is the public
it's
speaking
huge.
piece.
It's one of the number one fears, I think, if you look it up.
Yeah.
It's huge. I've got a huge event next. This is going out. Yeah, this is going out on the 3rd. You stop. You know what I mean? You need to start playing baseball more. So like this goes out on, it'll be Thursday. This goes out. I'll be in England 2 days after, and I'm hosting a prestigious event in my hometown. Second year I'm doing it. 500 odd people, business, leisure, and hospitality awards in Bradford. And I still get nervous, even at 9 a.m. As soon as the cameras come on.
For sure.
If I don't get nervous, then, you know what I mean? It's that adrenaline though. It's that adrenaline. It's that nervous
good
energy
too.
I love that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it kind of, when people go, I don't get nervous. All right, cool. I still get nervous.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you're doing live events, it's totally different being in front of the camera. It's a different type of nervous energy. So yeah.
I was reading a book about like there's like some studies or something like that. That's the feelings of nervousness and excitement are like equal in the body. Like it has the same response. So if you can shift your perspective of you feeling nervous to you're feeling excited, then it can help with nerves. Is something I've read somewhere. I can't remember where I read it, but yeah.
I take my hat off to you too. You've got no, you don't even have cue cards, do you? You don't have nothing like.
I've had.
Have you got a few notes?
Yeah.
Few notes, yeah. But it's good, and I think that comes across awesome as well, because you got that flow. It's very conversational as well.
That's what the point is. It's got to be a conversation. That's
Yeah.
why it's a little bit different with the podcast. Is like we're able to, oh, you mentioned something cool. Let's go turn that way. Let's see where that goes.
It's huge. And I always bring that into the show as well, each morning as well, when people go, what are you going to ask me? What are you going to ask me? What are you going to ask me? Yeah, you've got the basis of the topic and subject.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for me is you got to listen. You have to listen. Because otherwise it's just very robotic, isn't it? And I always feel like if I'm always interviewing more than one person, I always say to the people, feel free to chime in.
Oh, yeah.
Chime in. Because what would you do if you're out for a coffee or you're out at the bar or anything? When you're out with your friends and everything like that, you don't say, right, you're going to answer this question now, Andrew. Okay, so yeah. Do you have a nice night last night? Marcus, don't say anything. You don't, do you? It's not natural. So elaborate, like, get involved. And I think that opens up a different vibe for an interview as well.
Go watch the first episodes of this. It was very, very robotic. I could barely keep a conversation going past 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now he's just so relaxed and he's awesome. It's awesome to see. And it's awesome to see something flourish that you're doing. He's incredible. And you'll probably watch this one back in a year's time going, why did we get him on that show?
Nah. We're going to have you back on.
Oh, bless you. No, it's wonderful. It really is wonderful.
This has been such a great interview, man. Well, before we wrap everything up, do you have any questions, any lasting questions before we ask that final question?
I'm just, we can move on to the final question. Yeah.
Are you sure?
This has been great.
I could say it all day, to be honest. It's cool.
Nice.
This has been awesome, man. Like, you're a great storyteller. Like,
oh, bless you.
You really are. You really are a great storyteller. Like, we ask you a question. It's almost like we throw up the ball. You just boom, home run.
Just cut it out. Just cut it out. It's all no, but like, obviously, what people don't know at home as well, or if you're listening only as well, the SD card. I need to tell you a story. We changed the SD card.
Oh yeah.
Listen, it happens. It happens to everyone. All right. Well, listen, it's happened to me. But when we filmed the "Take You Home" video, okay, Scars on 45, we filmed it with one guy. And he just followed us around everywhere, New York, everywhere. And we finished off at our American family's house in Wyckoff, New Jersey, Jack and Grace, okay? And it was Super Bowl, I can't remember when it was, Super Bowl 2000, it could have been 17, I don't know. It was snowing outside. It was a February, cold, and we finished off the last scene and we sang the song, you know what I mean, like that. You go watch it. It's really, it was the cheapest video we've ever done, and we're proud of it. And it was amazing. There you go. And we got off, and it was snowing outside. The photographer left saying, we've got everything. It's going to be amazing. Give me 2 weeks to edit. And we're like, wow, that's pretty quick, isn't it? And anyway, and I remember we sat down, we were having a glass of wine, and you know what I mean, Super Bowl just finished and stuff. We were high-fiving each other, and we got a phone call from the photographer. He goes, you don't happen to have the SD card, do you? And we were like, what?
Why would you guys have it?
Like, well, why would we have it? He goes, well, it's not in the camera. And I swear down, I've never seen, you've never seen a band's face turn from, hey, to what we're going to do. Like this, and you know when you've done something, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, right, what do we do? And everyone's on their hands and knees, like looking for this SD card. It must have taken us about an hour or so, and it was by the kitchen table.
Nice.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And luckily the dog didn't lick it up as well.
Yeah.
Right. And we got it. It was so tiny, and we got it. And it was like, and he came back even, you know, and we give him it. It was like, don't lose it. So we could have lost a whole music video. So I know how you feel. All right. So it's cool.
It's for cool. Sure.
So yeah. You never forget that one.
I love it.
Yeah. So
well, where can we find you?
At Nova Meats. NOVA. Not the meat that you eat. The meat
that you greet.
That you can look at all. I'm using that. Yeah, meats. Yeah, Nova Meats. And that, yeah. I don't know where that came from. Oh, it was James Mason, the CEO of Bradford City. He said #Nova Meats. So there you go. Thanks, James. Thanks for that. And the mustache. I can't shave it off now.
Yeah, it's
on
part
my
of your
logo.
brand now.
I know. Yeah, it's all right. It's cool. As long as I don't watch anything on Netflix and stuff. I always pick when I'm watching Netflix, or I've got to stop touching it.
I tried to do it a while ago.
You should get it curled. It looked cool.
You did. You did have it curled, right?
Yeah, I was curling it all the time. You know, just twisting my little thing.
It's nice, isn't it? It's nice. Yeah. It's always guys who compliment me on mustaches.
Yeah. Okay.
I never get the ladies.
Yeah.
Which obviously my wife's she's happy with.
Okay, good.
But it's always the guys, and I always have guys in airports as well.
Okay.
And they're either with the partner, okay? And I had one when I were in DIA, and the guy, oh my God, dude. And he
That was a good American accent, by the way.
Yeah, and he's like, oh my God, you tell me the technique, come on.
Yeah.
And he's talking to me, and you know when you're on that moving thing at DIA,
Yeah.
but he's not on it, so he's walking next to me, right? And I swear down, his wife were going the other way. And she goes, Stephen, come on. We got to go. The flight's leaving. So, like, she's pulling him away. And he goes, I want to talk about his mustache. Like, yeah. So it's such a connection. Yeah, so the facial hair. Big up.
What do you use for it?
I've been using this new product, Def Grip.
Okay.
Have you heard Def Grip?
I haven't, no.
Get the guys on the show from Woodland Park.
From Woodland Park, okay.
Right.
Do you know the connection?
I'll sort you out.
All right, sweet.
Yeah, Levi is watching. Yes, I've been using Def Grip. Yeah. But these lads, the good thing about this company, we had them on the show, they come in little tins about that size, and you get bigger ones, but inside each one is a guitar pick. So
what?
That's why I've got this connection with them, and
Yeah,
so you don't have to use your nail and stuff. You use the little pick, and it's cool. And it's really strong. I'll drop some off. See
That'd
what
be
you
great,
think.
yeah.
So get them on the show. They've got a great story.
Yeah, maybe they'll drop some off.
They're really good. But they do like mustache competitions around the world. Like
That's cool.
Currently, they're doing the longest mustache in the world for a Guinness World Record. So they're joining everyone's not like tying it up. They're just kind of like, you know what I mean. So they're going to measure it all, and they're always in Germany. Like they go to the International Mustache and Beard Championships.
That's
Check them out,
hilarious.
Def Grip Wax. Yeah, and the local. Woodland Park, Colorado.
Yeah, I didn't even know about them. I'm glad you brought them up. We love having awesome businesses come on the show, and that sounds like a cool one.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I've kind of passed the baton to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
It's cool.
Love
So
it.
yeah,
It's like Yosemite Sam type of style with a big long mustache. Like
Oh
that.
yeah.
yeah. I mean, mine just curls, but I'm happy with it. I can't grow a beard. I can't.
I
Do
can't
it.
either. That's why
It's
that's why I
weird.
was wanting to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Does it come out patchy or what? Right here?
Yeah, it's like it's just not there.
Yeah, mine. I have to.
doesn't come.
It doesn't work,
But I do
yeah.
appreciate a good beard on gentlemen. I think they look really cool. Look really sexy. No, it looks good. No, in a weird way, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my mustache, I'm happy with the mustaches.
Yeah. You got the Captain Hook kind of mustache. Do you know what I'm talking about from Hook, the movie Hook?
Oh, yeah. You got my idea for next Halloween, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. I'm not sharing my secrets. Yeah, I've already planned.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Nice.
A year in advance. By the way, you were the Joker yesterday, right? For Halloween.
I got really into character, didn't I?
Yeah.
It was Beetlejuice following year. And the thing, since moving to America, you guys do it well, don't you? Oh my
People are
gosh, it's
crazy,
like an
yeah.
event. No wonder kids are just like, oh my God, yeah. In England, it's not so much. It's
Okay.
not so, but
Just a sheet or something?
Oh
for
no,
a ghost?
just I'd have just some really crappy mask that you buy at
okay.
Walmart or something. Yeah, but it's not a thing. But over here, it's an event.
Yeah.
No wonder kids love it. I mean, adults love it.
That's what it is. The adults dress
I
up.
love it.
yeah. The
I
adult
love
parties
it.
is when you're an adult, or even better than trick or treating.
Dude, I love it. And it's not, you don't have to be scary, does it? It can be anything now. And I just
yeah.
love it. And it, again, and so I did Beetlejuice last year. This year was the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, who I still think's the best Joker. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
It's okay. He's acted in that incredible. And then I've already planned next year. I've got three lined up. But I never tell people because obviously when you go on air, it's right. There you go. There you go. And it's cool. It's cool. It's really cool. So yeah. So thanks for noticing that. And you reshared it, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
You
on,
didn't-
our,
you
it's on
didn't
our
put-
story right now.
Well, you didn't
yes.
put my tag. You went, this is who we got on tomorrow's show. And I bet people thought, what?
Yeah, it's the Joker.
Yeah. No, it's cool. No, it's been an absolute pleasure, chaps. It's been awesome. Yeah. Check us out. And if
Yeah,
you're a
it's
new
been great,
business, if you're an individual, if you've got a talent, do you know what I mean? If you can juggle 29 juggling balls, and we'll have you on the show.
Living local.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not just obviously businesses, it's anyone, creative talent, young, old, anything, dogs, and anything. Support local, and make this area, community thrive.
Love it. Well, thank
Love
you
it.
so much again, man. This
Thank
has
you.
been so awesome.
Thank you.
So fruitful for sure. This has been so great.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Big shout out.
Awesome. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
All right.
Cool.
Sorry I spoke for too long.
No, you're good.